Gary Neal Kennedy is a well-known artist who is credited really with putting NASCAD on the international art map. Gary passed away 4 years ago. Cathy Busby is Gary's wife and an artist herself. She has launched a new book documenting their lives and Gary's struggles with dementia. The book is called I Wonder, Art plus Care plus Dementia. Cathy is going to be giving a talk on this new project tomorrow at the Halifax Art Book Fair at All Nations Church at 1 p.m. Joins me now in Studio A to tell us about the book. Welcome, Cathy. Welcome to Mainstreet.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell me a bit more about this new project and when you felt able to embark on this.
Well, it kind of came up sort of slowly. It gradually grew. And it started with Gary saying, I wonder. And sometimes he'd say it in a kind of sing-songy way, like, oh, I wonder, and sort of drift off. Yeah. But previously, he had said, I wonder, well, when he was well. And so this idea of wonder just kind of, I held on to it. Uh-huh. I thought the whole thing of everything we were going through with his loss of capacity it made me realize the wonder of all that we have with our brains and our capacities. And so I just thought it was a nice foothold for how I was feeling about wanting to hold on to this time and make meaning of it. What is in it? There's essays, I believe, from you. What do people experience in the book? Right. So you open up the book and you first learn a little about me and Gary in pre-dementia times, and there's a kind of an overview of Gary's life, including photos and narrative about his time running the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design, and also as a groundbreaking artist, and then I write about myself and what I kind of brought to this period of decline from earlier times in my life, and then about us as artists, and then I try and bridge into what started to happen as Gary declined, and connecting in with the Alzheimer's Society of BC where we were living. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I kind of tried to bring in pictures of what we went through day to day, especially as Gary's dementia increased and as COVID was upon us, which kind of really changed things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So as you continue in the book, we come to the end of Gary's life, and then the whole middle part of the book is about what I like to think of as creative dementia care. And so I made it possible for Gary to do a last art exhibition, which was a kind of river of names that he wrote, all the names of people he could remember. And there were hundreds of them. And he would go into that gallery and for a couple of hours with someone accompanying him and just write names until he couldn't think of any more or he was tired, and he'd come home. It was a artist-run center, CSA Gallery in Mount Pleasant in Vancouver, a short walk from where we lived. And then he did another... he just started doing these drawings on printer paper with pen, just pen that an ordinary pen. Yeah. And he was able to say, he didn't have too many words, but he was able to say, when I asked him what he was doing, that he was emptying the pen which I thought was so kind of beautiful, conceptual. It's very Gary. And so we collected these drawings, and I wrote a piece trying to imagine what was going through his head as he was doing a particular drawing, and I just tried to vocalize what he was going through. And then there's a couple of projects where he was in long-term care. First, a quarantine countdown project where I measured the circumference of the room and determined that in 2 weeks, which was the length of his quarantine, that I would paint 5 feet a day, and gradually the room became the color of our home because I painted it that white. And fortunately, I was able to get permission to do this because of COVID, really. They were cutting us some slack.
Yeah. It's wonderful, Cathy, that you and he had this shared language of art that seems to have survived the illness.
Yes, and continued to survive. The last work that I did was in his last bathroom, which was a very large bathroom where wheelchairs and lifts could come and go. Yeah. And I was given permission to paint the bathroom. So I patched it up. There were lots of dings and dents in the walls. Yeah. And then I started to do the taping for this painting that would say, "I wonder," wrapping around the room from floor to ceiling. And he passed away while I was that day. He passed away, and it actually, at the time that it said, "I won."
Really?
Which was,
wow.
Yes, I was working on the D.
Yeah.
But I carried that over to Art Metropole in Toronto, where they gave me permission to do the wall painting in they were just moving into a new storefront location, and I asked them, could I paint the walls? And so, with Gary's painters from Toronto, who he worked with when he did large wall text paintings in Toronto, I was able to
remarkable.
Make this I Wonder painting. And then we had a memorial there. And I had asked that it could just, could it be up for the memorial, and then I would paint over it. But they actually kept it up for 2.5 years.
Amazing.
So as you say, the impetus of the I Wonder and the kind of, and Gary's voice continued. And now with this book, I feel like it kind of solidifies, it contains, and sort of holds that wonder.
Yeah, and it is just it's a tough one, this journey to walk, and it's remarkable that you and he could walk it the way you did, and that you have the strength and the generosity to share it in a language. I think it's probably the only language that this can be, even in any way, come close to expressing what it is to be inside this journey, which is art. Like words, it's very hard to say to someone, this is how it felt as I watched this person leave. Mm-hmm. And so this is amazing. And what do you hope folks take away from this book, Cathy?
I think an expanded sense of the possibility to talk about it, to find words, to find ways. There's no one way, or every person suffering from this illness, there are different things that will spark their continued consciousness, however it is. I also think having a sense of humor and honoring the person throughout, like never talking about them in front of them, as if they don't understand, even if they can't use language as we do. But yeah, I guess also it's about compassion for oneself as a caregiver. It's a very difficult thing to do, and the demands and the pressures, even if you have a lot of help, and I say it takes a village.
Yeah.
But still, it's so utterly demanding on every level. I feel for all the caregivers as well as all the sufferers.
Cathy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cathy Busby is an artist and the author of the book, I Wonder, Art, Care, Dementia. Cathy is giving a talk about the book at the Halifax Art Book Fair at All Nations Church, 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's in Halifax's North End at Roby and Charles.